I don't need it. We can avoid the copyright, Alan. I don't need it. I don't need Sonic X's 4 Kids English dub theme. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't want to get copyrighted by freaking 4 Kids company or Japanese company, please. Alan, don't click it. Don't fucking click that X button. Don't click it. All right, don't click it. Jeez. Alan, no. No. We gotta put it on for like a microsecond. I have to. I gotta put it on for a split second. Here, just gotta go fast. All right, that's it. That's it. All right, I had to get that out there. All right. This is different. All right. So I'm just gonna go off the cuff. All right. We don't have any notes. I'm not gonna talk about like specific episodes. I'm just going to talk about my experience watching Sonic X when I was a little kid, aka the 4 Kids dub of this show. I was going to do Guardians of the Galaxy 1+2, like making my experience review on both those movies, but a part of me just kind of said, you know what, I want to kick it with this idea instead, where instead I decided to watch, or not decide to watch, I decided to talk about, Sonic X, but the 4 Kids dub. And I want to talk about memories with it, but also like my current experience watching it. By the way, Kaiju Gaming, welcome to stream. Let me share this stream. This will probably be my last one for today. Anyways, I'm back now. So, let's talk Sonic X. So, when I was a little kid, I remember one of the first, I think, exposures to Sonic that I've ever had, and that kind of stuck with me, was the 4 Kids Sonic X anime. And I remember all the voice actors, Jason Griffith as Sonic and Shadow, Mike Pollock as Eggman. This is where like a lot of like, I think for me, this is like where Sonic's voice cast like kind of peaks. Because I won't lie, I think one of the first exposures to Sonic that I can remember in my memory from all the way back in the day was Sonic X. And, seeing Sonic with Mario all the time and me loving Mario as a kid, seeing Sonic X on TV as, like, a cartoon on 4 Kids, I thought was one of the coolest things ever, And basically, Sonic X, for the most part, Season 1 and Season 2 anyway, is just a straight rip of Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 events, and then Season 3 I think was like the unique season of the entire show. Like the show went completely in its own direction around Season 3. But I remember, like, since I was a little kid, like the 4 Kids dub of Sonic X didn't really bother me. Like hearing the earliest days, and by the way, Sonic X in its dub, the earliest times, right, that we hear Jason Griffith. So this is like the first time we hear Jason Griffith as Sonic in Shadow, right? And I remember, as a kid, I thought everybody loved this shit. Everybody loved this iteration of Sonic. Sonic X Sonic was peak Sonic. Why do you think I have dubs of it on my YouTube page? But other than that, I thought this was one of the coolest things ever, like that was to come out, right? I really thought it was, right? And I remember, like, as a kid, me and my brother, we would watch the show, like, all the time, on a regular basis. Whenever it would come on every Saturday, we would sit down and get so excited to see what the hell is happening with Sonic and Friends. And it would be on early morning, and we would be up full of energy. We used to be like little ninja demons back when we were little kids, okay? We would be like top of the world, like all the time. And also I think that's why, like, my love for Sonic and the Black Knight here. Hold on, let me try to find the case down here. It's been a long day, so give me a sec. Perfect. It's why when I saw this was their last appearance in Black Knight, I thought it was very sad that was their last showing of Black Knight. Hedgehog Sonic X. Yep, basically. But I remember having no issues watching the dub as a kid, because when you're a kid, you don't really think about the problems of a show or whatever. You don't think about the little issues like animation errors or reuse, because Sonic X, if I remember correctly, they reused a lot of animation. This anime was budgeted as shit. Like, so many frames would be copy pasted, but I only realized that when going back to it, like, as a grown ass man, as I am right. Well, not grown ass man, but you get it. Young man, as I am today. But back then, I didn't really care about all those, those shots, those angles, those those little things that made Sonic X kind of stick out, like, in a bad way. I didn't really care about that. I didn't care if Jason Griffith was there voice acting Sonic for the first time. I didn't care how Amy sounded or how Amy acted. Maybe I did back then, because everyone hated how Amy acted back then. At least I did. I remember me and Louie found Amy really annoying on screen when she was always, like, hugging Sonic, trying to kiss Sonic. It was a whole thing. I remember being annoyed at that back then. But nowadays, Amy is Amy. It's whatever for me now. But back then, I remember her scenes would be kind of unbearable. And I remember not really having an issue with Chris Thorndike as a character or any of the human characters. Like, basically, this story was Sonic and Eggman going through some shit. They fucked around and found out with the Chaos Emerald, and they ended up in a completely different universe / different world. And it's the world of the humans. They're not on their own planet, with their own shit. They are on, they are on Earth now, and they have to deal with whatever Earth has to offer, while Eggman also does his shenanigans on Earth, and whatever he brings is whatever happens to Chris Thorndike's Earth. That's basically the entire show in a nutshell. And I loved it. I love the opening, gotta go fast, that shit was, like, actually, even still to this day, that opening, and I put it on earlier of this video, but that opening is so iconic to me that whenever I think of Sonic, I do think of that Sonic X opening. It was so good. It was easily a really good way to draw me in as a kid. But, yeah, but just watching the show, I had no issues. And I just loved it. I loved every episode. I didn't think of it as a Sonic Adventure 2 and 1 ripoff, because when I was a kid watching the show, I never played Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 when I was a kid. So seeing Sonic X, like, kind of copy Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 material and put it in animation form in its own unique way and own twist, I thought it was kind of cool. I thought it was like a unique thing, like they kind of did. Sure, there was moments here and there that they would just rip straight from the games and shit, aka, like I said, the entirety of the events of Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, but they would change it up just a bit to make it, like, different. So, like, I didn't immediately put 2 and 2 together when I was little, when I went to, or not, when I got older and played Sonic Adventure. I just heard about that, and I was like, no way. Way later in my life, I heard about that and just kind of put the pieces together. But as a little kid, since I didn't know what Adventure 1 and Adventure 2 was for Sonic, at least I did, or at least I didn't know, because I remember the earliest times when I watched it, I didn't know, but then later on, like, I think I played either Adventure 1's, like, demo or Adventure 2's demo. Actually, no, it was Adventure 1's, like, GameCube version demo, and I think I would see the resemblance. It's been a minute. Every time I think of Sonic X, I'm always like, fuck, I gotta really dig in the back of my mind to find some memories of this shit. But, I do remember, like, the Dark Sonic shit, of course, because that moment was kind of iconic. That one racer dude, I can't remember his name, but he was so fascinated with racing Sonic and testing his speed out with his new whip while Sonic's testing his speed out against it. It was kind of cool. Those moments, Sonic characters having moments with, their characters, Chris and Sonic having moments, Cosmo as a character exists, and, I thought all of that was cool, like I said. But, looking on the internet and seeing that a lot of Sonic fans actually bash the 4Kids dub of Sonic X, I was actually surprised, because I didn't think Sonic X as a kid was that bad. So, trying my best to go back to Sonic X, the 4Kids dub, because a lot of people say the Japanese, that's why I'm going to make two different my experiences with Sonic X, is because people say the Japanese version is a must-watch for the show. It is the way better version. There's stuff the 4Kids version took out completely, censored, and all that other sort of stuff. So if you want the real Sonic X, no uncensored moments and vibes, you watch the Japanese version of the show. And I had no idea that's what you were supposed to do with the show. All I had was 4Kids at the time, and barely, I used the internet, but like it wasn't like to a crazy extent to find full episodes of the Japanese version. So I didn't really get exposed to the Japanese version of Sonic X until so much later in my life. So all I had was the 4Kids dub. And to be real, after I saw everyone bash the 4Kids dub and everything, I didn't understand it until I started looking more into their points, their point of views about it. Like, oh, the reason why they hate it is because Jason Griffith sounds so bad as Sonic here. Like, his Shadow sounds pretty alright, but his Sonic was so high-pitched. It wasn't like the right pitch. It was like so high. It almost sounded like Jason Griffith was trying to mimic the Sonic voice actor before him that also played Sonic in Adventure 1 and Adventure 2, you know what I mean? And for some people, I was noticing, and I was like, what the hell is this discourse? Sonic X in the dub is not that bad, and I remember when I went back to it and heard the dub, I felt like, because after I went back and watched it in dub, like on Hulu with my brother a few times back in like 2022, 2023, I don't know, maybe it's just me, and I might just be way too used to the dubbing of it all. But even to this day, Sonic X's dub, does not bother me when I watch it, Obviously, there's going to be some stuff I'm going to have to get used to. Leo, welcome to the stream, by the way. But yeah, like, the dub never bothered me, Like, it bothered everyone else. Like, sure, Chris Thorndike in a lot of episodes getting in Sonic's way, that was annoying. Or when Chris made an entire time machine or machine just to reach Sonic's world, just so he can see him again, the little bastard, Even though a lot of people really hated Chris Thorndike for what he did in the show. And honestly, I can't really blame him because, like, the way they were making Chris sound in the show, like in 4Kids dub, was really annoying. And he was just getting in the way and shit. And it was like early seasons Chris Thorndike was annoying. But then later seasons, when he also became a mechanic, kind of like Tails, he started becoming less annoying and more useful to Sonic and shit, Obviously, just not having the superpowers Sonic did and Tails and all his friends did, but you get my point. And I don't know, it's just, I felt like Sonic X is a show for me and Louie. It served its purpose. It was a Sonic show that was for kids, and, it's supposed to be like a weekly anime show that kids can enjoy. And I felt like, sure, the 4Kids casting was pretty bad, but if we didn't get the casting, who would have voiced Sonic in Sonic Unleashed, or Sonic in the Black Knight, or, actually, I think Sonic Unleashed was, no, Sonic Unleashed was Roger Craig, but, this game was, Jason. This was Jason Griffin's last, casting as Sonic. Because if it wasn't for the 4Kids dub, who would have voiced him here in Black Knight, or Secret Rings, or a lot of other games around that time, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like Jason Griffith, in a way, was a really good Sonic and a really good Shadow. I'm glad, he voiced Sonic and Shadow in that anime. And I didn't even know it was anime at the time, I just assumed it was a TV show. But I think this was also around that time when I was getting into the Sonic X dub, 4Kids dub. I also already knew what Dragon Ball Z was, if not a little bit before that. So it's kind of cool to kind of come back to Sonic, the 4Kids dub of Sonic X and realize this is a dubbed anime. So before Dragon Ball, I was watching Sonic X, which was a dubbed anime. So one of my first dubbed animes I ever watched, other than like Naruto on Hulu for some random reason, it was like Sonic X. And I think, Sonic X, again, it did serve its purpose as a show. It was there, as a show that took events from games, put it in the show, but also scrambled in a lot of its own funny humor and other shit into it. And who knows, maybe with the English translation, a lot of the humor that, the Japanese wanted for Sonic X originally over there didn't translate well over here in English, and maybe the English also fucked around and found out and changed some jokes and changed some lines to fit more American audiences, since that's what a lot of shows back in the day did. So I don't know, like, since I didn't watch the full show in Japanese yet, I'm wondering, like, what changes, you know what I mean? And who knows, maybe I'll do like part videos for the Japan side of things. But I wanted to sit here for at least 15 minutes and kind of just talk about my memories with Sonic X. I still remember the first time he went Supersonic against Perfect Chaos. You know, I still remember Sonic in the show grabbing rings, okay? Grabbing, like, because if you guys don't remember, in Sonic Sat AM and other Sonic shows before Sonic X came out over here, Sonic would grab a ring to do the spin dash, and just hearing that, hearing that spin dash sound every time Sonic got into combat was so satisfying. I don't know why. It was like, it sounded like a jet engine like revving up or something, and it just sounded so good whenever you hear Sonic do a spin dash in the show. It felt so revolutionary. How old were you when you started watching Sonic X? I think I was like 5 to 6 years old, so like my memory of it is fucking hazy. Maybe like 5, 6, 7, 8, because it was like way before I started getting into YouTube. You know, way before I was into YouTube, making YouTube videos. This is when I was still like really playing with my plushies of Mario and Sonic in my room and all that stuff. But it was kind of crazy when watching. I think I could be hella wrong, since I don't remember a whole lot from like when I was younger a lot of the time, you know. All I remember is like bits and pieces. Best adaptation for Sonic in my opinion. You think Sonic X was the best version of Sonic? Because I ain't gonna lie, I noticed Sonic has a lot of different adaptations. Like, you got Archie, you got the games, you got Ian Flynn's way of writing the character, you got Boom Sonic's adaptation. There's so many different ways Sonic has been adapted over time, you know. Even Sonic in the Black Knight has like a weird different adaptation to him that some people say like Sonic X or Sonic in the Black Knight version of Sonic is the perfect characterization of the character, you know, for Sonic and stuff. But man, not only that, but I'm talking for the series and the art style. That's fair. The art style for Sonic X was so good. I think that's also what grabbed me too. Not only like the opening theme, Gotta Go Fast, but like I think the animation style for Sonic and all of the other characters was so good looking that like it kind of memorized it in my mind. I still remember Super Sonic versus Super Shadow, you know, happening in the show. You know, Sonic having those one-liners towards every villain he's ever fought. Or the Metarex. The Metarex were phenomenal. I love the Metarex. They were a really good idea for the show. I mean, dude, Sonic X is so popular, people are still talking about it today. Wanting like an extra season or wanting like a new version of Sonic X to come out, because so many people grew up with Sonic X. Like, even if it was the 4Kids dub, you know, or the Japanese version, shit, I don't blame them necessarily, dude. For Sonic X, like, Sonic X is a great way to get in the series. I only wish the animation was longer still, the Silver arc. Yeah, I kind of wish it went on so we could have seen Silver and Blaze, because I remember being a Sonic X fan and watching the original show. Sometimes I would see people's thumbnails of a Sonic X-styled Blaze and Silver, and I would click on it and sometimes kind of fall for it, even though I'm like, wait a minute, in the back of my head, I'm like, Silver and Blaze never were in this show, you know what I mean? Dude, don't even get me started with the, like, why did it end? I don't know why it ended. I think it's because they either ran out of money for the show and Sega didn't want to support it anymore. I have no idea. Plus, they just wanted to end it. Clorox Bleach, do you know Harry Potter? Of course I know Harry Potter. Who doesn't know what Harry Potter at least is? You know, to some extent. But anyways, I remember the Metarex. The Metarex were heavy on this show. I love the final season of Sonic X. And I think the final season of Sonic X sticks out in my mind more than the Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 stuff. Was the Sonic show Netflix? No. Sonic X was shown on TV, like cable TV, like way back in the days, like earlier 2000, like 2000, I think 2, 3, 4s or 5s or maybe 6, 7s around that time period. I don't know if it was on Netflix, but nowadays I think it is, because I think it's on Hulu right now. And I think it is on Max, because let me check that out actually, because I have Max. I hope we're not logged out of it. or something. I could be wrong. I could be logged out of Max. What generation of games are you a part of? What generation of gamers? I'm like 2000s, man. I was born 2002, and I basically grew up on games from set onward, like 2002. I played some from the 90s. I also played some that were, in the 90s that were like earlier on in 2000s and all that other sort of stuff. So yeah, but most of the time nowadays, I try my best to play a lot of older shit because, oh damn, they don't have Sonic X anymore on Max. That's crazy. They have nothing Sonic related. What the fuck? So I guess it is Hulu that has it now. That's kind of ironic. Red Bottom, welcome to stream. Just talking about Sonic X for a bit because I'm like, you know what? Sonic X was a goated show, even in the dub. I don't care. Sonic X was amazing to me. Even in some of its worst outings, I mean, you got the Cosmo Conspiracy where Shadow's fighting Sonic all the time. You got how the ending of Sonic X was also hilarious. I mean, not hilarious, but it was also like synthetic because I kind of liked it a little bit. Sonic X was so nostalgic. That's what I'm saying. Like, it is such a nostalgic show just to sit down and watch. I mean, you literally got people pulling up so many different moments from it. It's not even funny. I mean, I have to show you the Dark Sonic transformation. I'm legally obligated here. Let me show you. I know I talked about it already, but like, just sit with me for a little bit once we get this ad out of the way and shit. You know.
Are you ready to proceed with the experiment?
I've never seen Cosmo look so scared.
She should be.
Dudes.
Chris was passed out. What did you do to him?
Bro.
To escape and was taught a
I enjoyed it where Shadow was on the screen. I remember this one time because he went to assassinate Cosmo, and bro, I was hype on that part. He wasn't here to tell everyone why. He just went to kill. I love that shit. I'll talk about it right after this moment.
My veterans designs on data that was collected during previous battles against you. I'm eager to see if they're powerful enough to defeat you.
All right then, let's test him out.
Dude, watching Sonic brutally beat the shit out of his foes was one of the craziest moments. I remember even as a kid, I did not want to fuck with this form. Dude, it's because of that moment in Sonic X, right there, right? It's because of that moment, people put that in their fan animations of Sonic. Like, forever cemented as a goated transformation Sonic had. This was a show exclusive. Dark Sonic never shows up in any other game whatsoever. That's the only showing, and yet, for fucking eons afterwards, Sonic fans, like, find a way to put Dark Sonic in anything. Like, you murk Tails, he's going Dark Sonic. Or you murk Amy, he's going Dark Sonic. Or you see so much fan art of Dark Sonic, you see him in sprite fight animations, or just animations in general. I love the fact how even after that moment, Eggman was the one to calm down Sonic, like talked him down out of the form, which something I never would have anticipated. And another moment I want to bring up is exactly what Brian talked about in terms of Sonic X, is when Shadow showed up to try to murk Cosmo, because Shadow heard that Cosmo is this type of being that niggas really wanted to see, and, you know, that wanted the power of, and Shadow, dude, Shadow was a menace in that moment, because I'm starting to remember more and more. Dark Sonic was insane, but it only made one appearance in just 30 seconds, and bro, there was no cover or explanation of this form. Yeah, basically, the only explanation we can say for Dark Sonic is the fact that, basically, Sonic took the energy of the fake Chaos Emeralds and basically tapped into the negative aspects of the fake emeralds to power up into Dark Sonic. That's what people kind of like theorized how Dark Sonic even happened. Like, this is Sonic tapping into maybe more of his darker side or something like that, you know, because Sonic rarely gets angry. He's not a guy that gets so angry like he's Shadow, which is why Eggman literally pointed out, like, dude, like, settle down, Sonic, otherwise you might end up always angry like another hedgehog we know. I know how he got the power. I just wish there was a more lore. Yeah, like more than just that. I wish we tapped it almost Dark Sonic almost feels like, if you remember that transformation bind, if you ever played Shadow the Hedgehog, it almost reminds me of Shadow's like angry red form, where he goes, like, he gets so angry he goes all red and shit, and he turns into that for a little bit. That's what that reminds me of. It's kind of funny how Shadow goes dark when he gets really, or red when he gets so pissed off, and Sonic goes black when he gets really pissed off. It's kind of funny. But anyways, rate the Sonic 3 movie. I already have an entire My Experience dedicated to that. Check that video out if you want to see my opinions on it. Me and Chris both talked about that movie. But yeah, Shadow, I remember that Shadow moment like it was yesterday, bro. That man was on a mission, bro. He went up to Sonic's entire ship, basically bodied almost everybody in there. Like, I'm talking, he basically was just breaking fucking doors. He was like, boosh, boosh, like breaking doors, running past through them, trying to chase Tails and Cosmo, right? He fought Knuckles straight up for like 30 to a minute while Knuckles trying to buy them time. He fought Sonic, shadow bodied him too, and it's like, holy fuck. This man is running through the Sonic roster right now. It is insane. I mean, even Shadow bodied the fuck out of Tails trying to get Cosmo, and it was a whole thing. Wait, what? Oh. I thought I heard like that's just not Sonic kind of Peter when he's quiet. You already know what's gonna happen. Yeah, it's like, dude, you don't want to fuck with Dark Sonic, and just damn, man, and just it's moments like that that I can recollect from my childhood when watching this show in the dub. And even in the dub, whenever they did Dark Sonic or Shadow and menacing moments, I still felt all the moments when watching the show. Like, whenever something sad happened, like, or whenever something happy happened, I felt all the moments and the emotion. I still remember near the end of the show when Sonic went super and went in that crazy battle, and Amy was just there, like, crying her eyes out, worrying about Sonic, and saying all this factual information, saying, Sonic, I fucking couldn't sleep at night. I worried about you. You going up there super form. I can't, you know. And, you know, obviously she doesn't know, like, the limits of Supersonic, or at least she does to some extent, because keep in mind, Supersonic and Sonic X kind of works like it does in the games, where it has, like, a limited, like, amount of time before he just kind of runs out of juice, you know what I mean? Like, he needs to, like, stay on top of his shit at all times or whatever. Otherwise, the ring will just pop out of him and shit. And I still remember that. And I still remember so many moments, like, Sonic, like, had... Don't even get me started with, like, with the fight with Emerald. She can go Super Amy in the games. Well, that was added. Let's be real. Super Amy was really added. Because, yeah, in Sonic Origins. That was, like, a Sonic Origins, like... Oh, my brother tried to call me. Fuck. Shit, I might have to answer that. We might have to end this one early, boys. But, she can only go super in those games, like, specifically. Though, like, it's not really, like, canon if she can just, you know, do it. You know what I mean? Like, she gets the Glosh, but she doesn't really go, like, super. It's kind of like the Knuckles and Tails situation, where whenever they go super, they get, like, the little sparks of energy around them or whatever, and they don't really get to go super or whatever. It's a whole thing, I think, like that. Or whatever for Amy there. Though I kind of wish she was able to go super, you know, that would be cool to kind of show that the girl can go super too. Like, Amy, out of everyone, can also go super. Like, fuck, it would have been cool. But other than that, just... when are you going to do your next live? I have no idea. I'm probably thinking about being done for today, because I've done already like 3 to 4 other lives before this, and I just wanted to hop on real quick and just kind of talk about my experience watching the Sonic X dub, you know? I think the Sonic X dub was fucking good. It's still super, regardless, Hyper Knuckles. Well, yeah, Hyper Knuckles, that's a little different, because Hyper Knuckles did happen in the comics. I feel like Knuckles out of everyone should be able to tap into it, to be honest with you. I'm gonna be real, to be completely honest with you. I think Hyper Knuckles / Super Knuckles should be like a, hey, Sega, let that shit slide, because, you know what I mean? Because he did in the comics, like the Archie comics, so it's like, fuck it, why not just let it slide in the games or whatever? You know, or whatever the fuck. But, yeah, it's just... I mean, damn, I just realized they didn't even... Metal Sonic... I just realized Metal Sonic didn't even make a single appearance in this show. But I think Metal Sonic's, like, replacement in this show was Emerald. If you guys remember Emerald, Emerald was a fucking menace in Sonic X. That man, or that robot, not man, but that robot was a fucking menace, bro. Like, I remember Emerald copying Knuckles' abilities, being able to body Knuckles with his own abilities so easily, being able to copy Rouge's abilities, and I remember it got so bad with Emerald's copy abilities that, like, Sonic, Rouge, and Knuckles all had to jump the motherfucker all at the same time to even stand a chance in beating him. It was so bad. Like, it was so bad for all of them when they tried to fight him separately, dude. It was crazy. Like, Emerald being able to copy Sonic's iconic spin dash and speed, trying to copy Knuckles' strength and his way of fighting, and then Rouge's kicks, being able to copy those, or Tails' mind. It's a whole thing, dude. Like, I remember, Jesus, Nick, what the hell are you sending me? Freaking memes, goddammit. It would have been insane. It would have been insane if Neo Metal Sonic wasn't Sonic X. Nah, you would have taken Shadow's Edge. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I'm like, bro, it's crazy that they never introduced Metal Sonic, even though Metal Sonic has been in, some of the other Sonic shows before this. Not before this, but because, you know, if you guys remember, like, Sonic SatAM didn't have, Ed Luffy, I see you there. Welcome to stream, by the way. I am Steve. God damn it. I'm doing the meme. Stop making me do the meme. Don't make me do the meme. Yeah, but Neo Metal Sonic would have been the rawest motherfucker of all time in Sonic X, dude. I'm telling you. Yeah, Sonic CD or the OVA. Yeah, the OVA. Yeah, it's like, why the fuck wasn't he in Sonic X? It would have made sense because, like, keep in mind, Perfect Chaos comes... Or, actually, no. Well, yeah, Metal Sonic is existing around that time, so it's just kind of weird that, like, Metal Sonic didn't make an appearance. Instead, we had, like, this... we had those two yellow and gray robots, you know, which those robots were cool too in Sonic X. I didn't want to like forget to mention them and shit, when coming about. So, was Metal Sonic created by Yeah, Metal Sonic was created by Robotnik. Yeah. All Metal Sonics or Mecha Sonics or Robotic Evil Sonics have been created by Dr. Eggman. Doctor, why did I say Dr. Eggman like that? Dr. Eggman or Dr. Robotnik. Usually people say Dr. Eggman nowadays because that's what everyone associates his name as, but Robotnik's also another good alternative. That's what he was in the older games. But, Robotnik, yeah. People would say it like that too. But, yeah, that would have been cool. I would have loved to. I would have been probably all over Metal Sonic as a kid then. I probably would have made a video just like I did for Mecha Sonic from Sonic 3 or Sonic 3 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles when I made a video about him specifically and his character. I probably would have made a video about how Neo Metal like took over the entirety of Sonic X. I kind of wish they did that. But I'm actually kind of glad as well that they did do the Metarex, so because like, you know, they're also robots from outer space that are like robotic life forms that want to turn everything in the universe into this robotic type of bullshit. So it would be cool if that would have happened or whatnot. But anyways, I digress, right? Chicken Jockey. I love a fan animation of Mecha Sonic or Metallics. Yeah, Metallics / Mecha Sonic from like Super Mario Bros. Z. That character is amazing. I love that version of Mecha Sonic. I even talk about him in my Mecha Sonic video. I made a long time ago, a while back. But yeah, but Sonic X of the show it's amazing. I don't know if I'm going to be saying that shit, you know, in comparison to when I watched the Japanese, because now after talking about Sonic X for a good 30 minutes, now I kind of want to actually sit and watch the Japanese version of Sonic X, see what difference is. Obviously, the voice acting is going to be different. Are the lines going to be different? Like, is it going to be, like, English? I mean, obviously, it's going to be translated to English. Like, English subtitles are going to be at the bottom. But it's going to be, like... I wonder how different it's going to be from how I experienced Sonic X as a kid when I watched it in the 4Kids dub. And I want to make that clear. We're talking about the 4Kids version of Sonic X, not the Japanese version of Sonic X. Is Sega going to release any new Sonic games or anime? To be real with you, yeah, they're releasing new. They have an idea for a Sonic game. I think it was like Sonic Blitz, something like that. Yeah, I think Sonic Blitz was something in the works. I could be wrong, but like I think that's in the works. And then like they have Sonic Rumble, the mobile game, coming forward to the U.S. I think around May of this year or something. So looking forward to that. And but anime, I can't really say anything about an anime. They haven't really talked about like Sonic anime or animation since like the Sonic X Shadow Generation animations and shit. But other than those, that's like the closest thing we're gonna get to a Sonic anime. But we are gonna get another Sonic movie, like Sonic Movie 4 coming out in like I think 2026 or 2027. Could be wrong about that, but anyways, I just wanted to talk about Sonic for a little bit, Sonic X for a little bit. Man, I wanted Hypersonic so bad. I'm still hoping for it, lol. I don't blame you, Brian, because Hypersonic was like the best transformation of all time when they introduced it in Sonic 3 Knuckles, dude. It's so fucking good. Like, I'm just gonna say that now. That's like one of the best, if not the strongest form we've ever seen of Sonic. Even though, I don't know why Sega doesn't want to like reintroduce it, because they're like, that form is way too fucking strong. Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? But anyways, I digress. Guys, if you enjoyed our little nostalgic throwback of Sonic X over the years, like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share with your friends. God bless you all. You guys have a great day / fantastic day. I'll see you guys in the next one, / I'll see y'all tomorrow for like, you know, probably Guardians of the Galaxy 1+2 video. I gotta take this call from my brother, because my brother like called me on Discord, and I hope nothing bad happened or something. But anyways, I digress. I'll see you guys next one. Peace. Actually, you know what? Before I end it, maybe I should put the Sonic X opening on. I feel like I would sin if I don't put... I mean, I know I put it on the beginning, but, like... Fuck it, who cares? I'm gonna change the color of the screen. So we can get a new fucking filter or something going, or whatever. Fuck it, so you can't, like, see it. Check this out. We got, like, a... little Sonic thing in the background. Isn't that cool? Like a little green screen? No? Sonic, number one. Sonic. No, I'll just give you all the audio. Following the speed sound, they try to take the Charlie back. That is convince you the patient. Something in you attention. You can live and come with relaxation. Go. I got issues. I'm sorry, just... Bro, come on. Sonic X opening is iconic, man. Come on, look at me. Oh, God. Okay, let me take this off, bro. Like, here. This is like... Go fast. I gotta go fast. I gotta go faster, faster. You know, go. Sonic, gotta go faster, gotta go fast. I got issues, bro. Jesus Christ. Fucking iconic. I love that shit, dude. Hey, even if the Japanese version of this opening is not as good as the 4Kids version, I will forever love the 4Kids version till the day I die. That opening is catchy as shit. Y'all can't tell me Sonic X's opening isn't catchy as shit. Alright, I better get going before Sonic beats my ass for not doing another video with him. Hey, motherfucker! Oh, goddamn.